Iryna's law is now in effect in North Carolina, named after the woman who was stabbed to death on Charlotte's light rail. Some say the suspect in that case should never have been out of jail to commit that crime, allegedly. Our Hunter Sines joins us live from the courthouse, where the law aims to keep people behind bars for longer in certain situations. Hunter?
Scott, these new rules are already having an impact on the process that happens here at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse. When somebody gets arrested, you have what's called a first appearance, where you go before a judge. They may issue you a bond or some conditions, or just give you your next court date. That happens in a morning and an afternoon session, and they can take quite a while, a lot of defendants to get through. But when you add these new rules, that process takes even longer. And one defense attorney told me this new law is going to be a disaster. Iryna's law, named after the Ukrainian refugee who police say was randomly stabbed to death on the Blue Line in South End earlier this year, is now in effect. And it was felt today at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse during first appearance court, slowing the process as judges and attorneys made sure they were abiding by the new rules. Some suspects set aside because their criminal history wasn't known.
It's going to be a total disaster over there.
Rob Heroy is a defense attorney who says anyone who is arrested can expect to spend longer in jail.
It creates a lot more work that the jail has to do, and they don't necessarily have the funding to do what it requires.
The new law aims to keep violent repeat offenders behind bars longer by cracking down on pretrial release. Judicial officials will now have to ask about a suspect's housing information. They'll also have to consider a suspect's previous criminal history when granting pretrial release. If officials do grant pretrial release, they must enter a written explanation. Anyone charged with certain violent crimes or who has 3 convictions in the last 10 years must be given a secured bond. Heroy says he understands the need for criminal justice reform, but he's not sure this is the answer. He just wants to warn everyone the new law will mean patience is needed.
People are not going to have bonds set. Judges are going to be working tonight. Cases are going to get held over to another day, even though the person is required to have their bond set that date. It's going to be a mess.
This new law also gets rid of what's called a written promise to appear, where you don't pay any money to get out of jail. Instead, you just promise the magistrate that you will actually show up for your court date. That defense attorney who you just heard from says getting rid of a written promise to appear is just for show, because judges can still issue an unsecured bond where you still don't pay a penny to get out of jail. But if you break your bond conditions, then you're on the hook to pay the money. Live outside of the Mecklenburg County Courthouse, Hunter Sines, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
All right, Hunter, thank you for explaining that. Iryna Zarutska's accused killer, DeCarlos Brown, had a history of incidents with police. 7 months before she was killed, he was allowed out of jail with a written promise to go to his next court appearance. He repeatedly was calling 911 from a hospital. Brown was federally charged with a count of committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system.